The research vessel Stellar Pioneer plunged through Glacius Prime's atmosphere, its hull groaning under the assault of crystalline ice storms. Captain Elena Blackwood's fingers danced across the neural interface controls, her movements precise despite the violent shuddering of the ship. 20 years of Arctic and deep space survival experience had taught her that panic was a luxury she couldn't afford. "Primary engines failing, Captain," reported Zenthur, his crystalline form pulsing with worried blue light. The science officer's natural affinity for cold environments usually made him the calmest during ice planet expeditions, but even he seemed rattled by the ferocity of Glacius Prime storms. Elena's eyes narrowed as she assessed their rapidly deteriorating situation. The Stellar Pioneer had been dispatched to investigate unusual energy signatures on this frozen world, but their routine research mission had turned into a fight for survival the moment they entered the atmosphere. "Mira, redirect power from life support to the stabilizers. We can survive on emergency systems for now, but not if we crash." Technical Officer Mira Frost worked her station with mechanical precision, her augmented hands moving with inhuman speed across the controls. "Redirecting power, but the cold is affecting our systems faster than predicted. External temperature reading at -300°C and dropping." "Impossible," Dr. Rivencore hissed from his station, his scaled skin darkening with concern. "No natural planetary system should be this cold. The xenobiologist species evolved in warm climates, and Elena could see him struggling to maintain his usual scientific detachment. Security Chief Daxon's crystalline structure groaned as he moved to reinforce the bridge blast shields. "Captain, my sensors detect structured formations in the ice below. This may not be entirely natural." Navigator Quill's gaseous form swirled anxiously in their containment suit. "Trajectory calculations complete. I've identified a relatively stable landing zone 2 kilometers ahead, but we'll only get one chance." Elena made her decision. "All hands, brace for emergency landing procedures. Mira, divert all remaining power to landing thrusters. Zenthur, begin emergency preparation for extreme cold conditions." She activated the ship-wide comm. "This is your captain speaking. We're executing an emergency landing. All personnel to crash positions immediately." The Stellar Pioneer screamed through the last layer of storms, ice particles hammering against the reinforced viewport like microscopic bullets. Elena felt the familiar calm of crisis settle over her as she guided the massive vessel toward the landing zone. She'd survived worse situations on Earth, though not by much. The impact came in stages. First, the landing struts compressed, absorbing the initial shock. Then the secondary cushioning systems engaged, flooding the ship with impact gel. Finally, the vessel skidded across the ice for nearly half a kilometer before grinding to a halt. Silence fell, broken only by the howling of the eternal storm outside and the creaking of the ship's hull as it adjusted to the extreme cold. Elena quickly assessed her crew. "Status report, all stations." "Science station operational," Zenthur reported, his crystalline form now pulsing with a steady green light. "But external temperatures are still dropping. This defies all known laws of thermodynamics." "Engineering reports critical damage to primary and secondary power systems," Mira added, her augmented eyes scanning multiple holographic readouts simultaneously. "We're losing heat faster than our systems can generate it." Dr. Core's scales had taken on a darker hue, a sign of severe stress in his species. "Life support is failing. At this rate, we have perhaps 3 hours before the cold penetrates our hull completely." Elena stood, her movement drawing all eyes to her. "We didn't come this far to freeze to death in our ship." She activated the main view screen, displaying a topographical scan of their surroundings. "Those energy signatures we detected? They're stronger now that we're on the surface. And they're coming from underground. You can't be suggesting we go out there." Quill's gaseous form condensed slightly in anxiety. "Even my containment suit wasn't designed for these temperatures." "We're not staying here to die," Elena stated firmly. "Zenth, your crystalline physiology gives you the best chance in these conditions. Work with Mira to modify our environmental suits. Dr. Core, analyze that energy signature. If it's artificial, we might find shelter or technology we can use." Security Chief Daxon's silicon-based form shifted. "The storm is interfering with long-range scans, but I'm detecting what appears to be a geometric structure beneath the ice, approximately 1 kilometer from our position." Elena nodded, a plan already forming in her mind. "We've got 3 hours to reach that structure before we lose the ship completely. Mira, grab whatever portable power sources you can salvage. Zenth, help Quill modify their containment suit for extreme conditions. Dr. Core, you'll need additional thermal layers, your biology isn't made for this." As her crew rushed to prepare, Elena studied the swirling storm outside. Throughout her career, she'd survived the worst Earth could throw at her: Antarctic blizzards, Siberian winters, the frozen methane seas of Titan. But this was different. The cold here felt almost intelligent. She pushed the unsettling thought aside and focused on their immediate survival. "Whatever we find out there," she announced to her crew, "we find it together. Humanity didn't reach the stars by backing down from impossible challenges, and we're not starting now." The crew worked with practiced efficiency, modifying their equipment for the unprecedented cold. Elena watched with pride as human ingenuity merged with alien expertise. Myra's augmented hands crafted makeshift heat exchangers while Zenth's crystalline knowledge helped optimize their thermal protection. Even Dr. Core, despite his obvious discomfort, contributed valuable insights about biological responses to extreme cold. As they prepared for their trek across the frozen wasteland, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't just fighting against nature. The geometric structures, the impossible temperatures, the strange energy readings, it all pointed to something more. Something waiting for them beneath the ice. But first, they had to survive the journey to find it. The journey across Glacius Prime's surface felt like walking through death itself. Each step required tremendous effort as the expedition team battled against winds that could freeze exposed flesh in seconds. Captain Elena Blackwood led the way, her modified environmental suit creaking with each movement. Behind her, the diverse crew of the Stellar Pioneer fought their own battles against the lethal cold. Energy signature growing stronger, Zenth reported, his crystalline form glowing brighter as they approached their target. The geometric patterns in the ice are becoming more pronounced. This is definitely artificial construction. Elena paused, studying the terrain ahead through her frost-covered visor. The storm had temporarily lessened, revealing massive ice formations that couldn't have been natural. Perfect hexagonal columns rose from the ground, their surfaces etched with symbols that pulsed with a faint blue light. "Fascinating, Dr. Core managed through chattering teeth, his scaled form hunched against the cold despite multiple layers of thermal protection. These markings, they're similar to ruins found on the frost moon of Serpens, but far more advanced." Mira Frost moved forward, her augmented hands scanning the nearest column. "There's a power source running through these structures. The energy signature matches what we detected from orbit, but it's more complex up close." Movement. Security Chief Daxon's crystalline form shifted into a defensive stance. Something beneath the ice, multiple signatures. The ground trembled beneath their feet. Navigator Quill's gaseous form swirled anxiously in their reinforced containment suit. "Captain, the ice sheet is becoming unstable. We need to move." Elena's survival instincts screamed danger. "Everyone, move away from the columns. Head for that ridge." She pointed to a nearby elevation that looked more stable than their current position. They barely made it 20 steps before the ice split open with a thunderous crack. The team scattered as massive mechanical tentacles erupted from the depths, their metallic surfaces covered in the same glowing symbols as the columns. The appendages moved with terrifying precision, as if searching for something, or someone. Defensive formation. Elena commanded, drawing her plasma rifle. Daxon, protect Quill. Mira, see if you can interface with that technology. The security chief's silicon-based body immediately moved to shield the more vulnerable navigator, while Myra's augmented systems attempted to make sense of the alien machinery. Zenthuar's crystalline form pulsed rapidly as he took readings, his natural affinity for cold environments making him the most stable in the chaos. "Captain," Mira called out, her augmented eyes glowing intensely. "These aren't weapons, they're maintenance systems. The whole planet is some kind of massive machine." Before Elena could respond, one of the mechanical tentacles swept toward them. She rolled to avoid it, but the appendage wasn't attacking, it was opening a path. The ice beneath them retracted, revealing a perfectly preserved entrance leading deep underground. "It's an invitation," Dr. Core observed, his scientific curiosity temporarily overriding his discomfort. "Or a trap." Elena checked her team's vital signs through her suit's interface. The cold was taking its toll, especially on Dr. Core and Quill. They needed shelter, and their ship was no longer an option. Sometimes the only way out is through. "Mira, can you detect any power sources down there?" "Multiple signatures, Captain. And it's warmer below, the temperature rises significantly past the first 100 meters. "Warmer is relative," Daxon rumbled, his silicon form adjusting to the structural changes around them. "This could still be a death sentence." Elena studied the opening. The tunnel walls were lined with the same technology as the tentacles, pulsing with that mysterious blue light. "We've got two choices, freeze up here for certain, or take our chances below. I'm going down. Anyone who wants to stay can try to make it back to the ship." No one moved to leave. Despite their differences, the crew's trust in their captain had been earned through countless missions. Elena nodded, pride mixing with concern for their safety. "Daxon, take point. Zenthuar, help Quill with their containment suit. Dr. Core, stay between Mira and me. We move fast but careful." The descent into the planet's depths was like entering another world. The howling storms above gave way to an eerie silence broken only by their footsteps and the occasional hum of alien machinery. The temperature, while still dangerously cold, rose enough that their suits could compensate more effectively. After descending for what felt like hours, they emerged into a vast chamber that defied belief. Enormous crystalline structures housed what appeared to be ancient computer systems, their surfaces covered in flowing data streams of light. Mechanical constructs similar to the tentacles above moved with purpose through the space, maintaining equipment that had clearly been running for millennia. "This is incredible," Mira breathed, her augmented systems struggling to process the complexity of what they were seeing. The energy output, this facility could power 1,000 worlds. Zenthuar moved to one of the crystal terminals, his own crystalline nature allowing him to interact with the technology more naturally. "Captain, I'm detecting similar facilities all across the planet. This isn't just a machine, it's a node in a planet-wide network." "But what's it for?" Elena wondered aloud, watching as data streams pulsed through the chamber's crystalline architecture. What kind of civilization builds something on this scale and then abandons it? Dr. Core, who had been studying nearby markings, suddenly straightened. "Captain, these symbols, they're not just decoration. They're warnings." Before he could elaborate, the chamber's lighting shifted from blue to red. The mechanical maintainers froze in place, their purposes suddenly changing. Alarm signals pulsed through the crystal matrices as ancient systems awakened to deal with the intruders. "Multiple hostile signatures incoming." Daxon warned, his silicon form shifting into combat mode. "The facility's defense systems are activating." Elena quickly assessed their situation. They were trapped underground on a frozen world, surrounded by advanced alien technology that had just decided they were a threat. But as she looked at her diverse crew, human, crystalline, reptilian, gaseous, and silicon-based beings all working together, she knew they had something the ancient builders hadn't counted on: adaptability. Mira, start working on accessing their systems. Zenthur, use your crystalline interface to buy us time. Everyone else, defensive positions. She checked her weapons charge. We didn't come this far to fail now. Let's show these ancient machines what modern ingenuity looks like. The chamber's darkness was split by the activation of countless defense turrets, their targeting systems locked on the intruders. As her crew moved to their positions, Elena couldn't help but smile grimly. The real challenge was just beginning. The ancient chamber erupted into chaos as defense turrets unleashed streams of concentrated energy. Captain Elena Blackwood rolled behind a crystalline column, plasma rifle ready. Mira, how's that system access coming? These algorithms are unlike anything I've seen, Mira called back, her augmented hands moving at impossible speeds across the alien interface. Every time I break through one layer of security, 3 more appear. It's like the system is learning, adapting to each attempt. Zenthur's crystalline form pulsed with intense concentration as he interfaced directly with a nearby terminal. Captain, I'm detecting a massive power surge building throughout the facility. Whatever this place is, it's not just defending itself, it's waking up. A barrage of energy bolts forced Dr. Core to scramble for cover, his scaled form barely avoiding disintegration. The warning symbols, he shouted over the chaos. They speak of a great filter, some kind of planetary defense system designed to prevent unauthorized access to advanced technology. Elena processed this information while returning fire at the nearest turret. Her shot connected, but the damage instantly began repairing itself through some form of automated maintenance system. Daxon, status on those mechanical sentries? The security chief's silicon-based form had partially merged with a defensive position, allowing him better stability for combat. They're not trying to kill us, Captain. Their attack pattern suggests they're hurting us toward something. That central chamber ahead. Navigator Quill's gaseous form condensed anxiously in their containment suit. Energy readings from that direction are off the charts. If we go in there, we might not come out. We might not survive staying here either, Elena responded, noting how the defense systems were indeed leaving them only one viable escape route. Mira, forget about accessing their systems directly. Focus on mapping the power flows. Zenthur, what else can you tell me about this facility's purpose? The science officer's crystalline surface rippled with data streams as he maintained his connection to the alien technology. It's incredible, Captain. This entire planet appears to be an automated testing ground. The extreme conditions, the advanced technology, the defense systems, they're all part of some grand experiment. An experiment in what? Dr. Core asked, his scientific curiosity momentarily overriding his fear. A massive tremor shook the chamber, and more mechanical sentries emerged from hidden compartments in the walls. The temperature began dropping rapidly again, despite their depth underground. Elena watched as frost patterns formed on nearby surfaces, spreading with unnatural precision. In survival, she realized suddenly. This whole planet is a test of survival and adaptation. The cold, the technology, the defenses, they're all designed to challenge any species that finds this place. She turned to her crew, a plan forming in her mind. And we're not the first to be tested. Myra's augmented eyes widened as she processed data from her scans. Captain, you need to see this. The power flows, they're not just random. They're forming patterns, like neural pathways. This facility isn't just a machine, it's thinking. Another tremor rocked the chamber, stronger this time. The mechanical sentries suddenly stopped their advance, their attention drawn to something beyond the central doorway. A deep, resonating hum filled the air, making everyone's bones vibrate. Multiple massive energy signatures approaching, Daxon warned, his silicon form shifting uneasily. Whatever's coming, it's bigger than anything we've encountered so far. Elena checked her team's status through her suit's interface. They were all showing signs of fatigue, and the dropping temperature was affecting their equipment. Even Zenthuar's natural cold resistance was being tested by these extreme conditions. They needed a new strategy. "Listen up," she commanded, drawing her crew's attention. "This facility is testing us, trying to see how we handle impossible situations. So let's show it something it hasn't seen before." She turned to each crew member. "Zenthuar, your crystalline nature lets you interface with their tech. Mira, your augmented systems can process data faster than their ancient computers. Daxon, your silicon form can adapt to structural changes. Quill, your gaseous state lets you access areas others can't. And Dr. Core, your understanding of xenobiology might help us grasp what we're dealing with." "What are you suggesting, Captain?" Quill asked, their gaseous form swirling with curiosity. "I'm suggesting we stop trying to fight this facility and start proving why we're worthy of whatever knowledge it's protecting." Elena gestured to their surroundings. "Look at this place, it's not just about survival. It's about proving that a species has evolved enough to handle advanced technology responsibly. And what better proof than a crew of different species working together?" Before anyone could respond, the central doorway burst open. Through it emerged a massive construct, its form shifting between solid, liquid, and gaseous states. It moved with a grace that belied its size, its surface covered in the same glowing symbols they'd seen throughout the facility. "Incredible," Dr. Core breathed. "It's a physical manifestation of the facility's artificial intelligence. A way for it to directly interact with visitors." The construct stopped before them, its form stabilizing into a crystalline structure that pulsed with internal light. When it spoke, its voice resonated through their minds rather than their ears. "You have reached the final stage of evaluation," it announced. "Your species' compatibility with advanced universal knowledge will now be tested. Failure will result in immediate termination. Success will grant access to technologies beyond your current understanding." Elena stepped forward, standing tall before the ancient AI. "We're ready for your test. But know this, we're not here to prove the worth of any single species. We're here to show what different species can achieve together." The construct's light pulsed brighter, and the chamber around them began to transform. As walls shifted and new challenges emerged, Elena knew they were about to face their greatest test yet. But looking at her diverse crew, each member bringing unique strengths to their team, she had never felt more confident in their chances of success. The chamber transformed around them, its crystalline walls flowing like liquid metal. The ancient AI construct hovered before them, its form continuously shifting between states of matter as it prepared its challenge. Captain Elena Blackwood watched as multiple platforms materialized throughout the vast space, each one hosting different pieces of alien technology. "Your test begins now," the AI announced, its thoughts resonating through their minds. "You must activate the planetary restoration matrix. Failure will result in this facility's automated purge sequence. Success will grant you the knowledge you seek." The temperature plummeted further as holographic displays materialized, showing the planet's surface growing increasingly unstable. The eternal storm was intensifying, threatening to tear apart their stranded ship and potentially destroy the entire facility. "Time limit, 3 hours, the AI added. "Choose wisely." Elena quickly assessed the situation. The platforms around them contained various technological components, each more alien than the last. Some pulsed with energy, others seemed to bend space itself, and a few appeared to be in multiple places simultaneously. "Mira, start analyzing those components. Zenthuar, see if you can interface with any of them. Everyone else, spread out and gather data." Elena's voice carried the calm confidence that had seen them through countless crises. "This isn't just about solving a puzzle, it's about proving we can work together." The crew dispersed, each member applying their unique abilities to understand the challenge before them. Dr. Core moved between platforms, his xenobiologist's eye picking up patterns others might miss. These components, they're biomechanical. They respond to different physiological signatures. Myra's augmented hands danced over various interfaces, her enhanced processing speed allowing her to analyze multiple systems simultaneously. The technology requires different types of interaction. Some need physical contact, others respond to energy signatures, and a few seem to require specific molecular structures to activate. Confirmed, Zenthur added, his crystalline form resonating with nearby components. Each piece seems designed to respond to different species characteristics. No single race could operate them all. Navigator Quill's gaseous form swirled excitedly. Look at these energy conduits. They require a gaseous state to transfer power between nodes. I could help facilitate those connections. Security Chief Daxon's silicon-based body had been scanning the structural integrity of the platforms. The base systems are designed to adapt to different molecular compositions. My form could stabilize the more volatile components. Elena smiled as understanding dawned. That's it. This isn't just a test of our technical abilities, it's a test of cooperation. Each component needs a different species to operate it, forcing us to work together. She turned to the AI construct. That's what you're really testing, isn't it? Not just our technological advancement, but our ability to overcome our differences and work as one. The construct pulsed with what might have been approval, but offered no response. Instead, more holographic displays appeared, showing the storm above growing even stronger. 2 hours remaining, it announced. Elena sprang into action. Mira, you're our technical expert. Coordinate the integration of these components. Zenthur, use your crystalline resonance to stabilize the energy flows. Quill, we'll need you moving between conduits to maintain power distribution. She turned to the others. Dr. Core, your knowledge of xenobiology will help us understand how each piece interacts with different species. Daxon, focus on structural support and containing any volatile reactions. The team moved with practiced efficiency, each member playing to their strengths while supporting the others. Myra's augmented systems helped her create a three-dimensional model of how the components should connect. Zenthur's crystalline form harmonized with the alien technology, helping translate its requirements to the others. Quill's gaseous form proved invaluable, allowing them to transfer energy between components that would have been impossible to connect otherwise. Core's insights helped them understand which pieces needed specific biological interactions, while Daxon's adaptable silicon form provided crucial stability to the more unstable elements. But as they worked, the challenge grew more complex. The temperature continued to drop, pushing their environmental suits to their limits. Components that seemed perfectly aligned would suddenly shift, requiring quick adjustments and constant cooperation to maintain stability. 1 hour remaining, the AI announced as they approached completion of their task. Elena moved between her crew members, helping where needed and ensuring everyone stayed focused despite the growing pressure. She watched with pride as human ingenuity combined with alien expertise in ways the facility's builders probably never imagined. Myra's augmented hands flew over the final connections. Captain, we're almost there. But the power surge required for activation, it's massive. Our suits might not be able to handle the feedback. We haven't come this far to fail now, Elena declared. She studied the nearly completed matrix, noting how each piece reflected the unique characteristics of the crew member who had helped integrate it. Zenthur, can your crystalline form help channel the excess energy? The science officer pulsed with determination. Yes, but I'll need help maintaining structural integrity during the power surge. Daxon can reinforce your form with his silicon-based structure, Elena suggested. Quill, your gaseous state could help distribute the load through the conduits. Dr. Core, monitor the biological interfaces to prevent overload. As her crew moved into position, Elena felt a surge of pride. Here they were, representatives of vastly different species, working in perfect harmony to accomplish something none of them could have done alone. This, she realized, was what humanity's journey to the stars was really about, not just exploration, but learning to connect with and understand others. Matrix activation in 3, 2, 1. Mira announced. Energy surged through the completed structure, creating a brilliant display of light and power that filled the chamber. For a moment, it seemed their environmental suits would fail under the strain. But then Zenthuar's crystalline resonance, reinforced by Daxon's silicon structure and distributed through Quill's gaseous form, helped stabilize the massive energy flow. The AI construct's form solidified fully for the first time, taking on a crystalline appearance that mirrored the activated matrix. Final stage of testing, completed. The chamber hummed with power as the activated matrix began its work. Streams of energy coursed through the facility's ancient systems, awakening mechanisms that had lain dormant for millennia. Captain Elena Blackwood and her crew watched in awe as holographic displays showed the planet-wide transformation beginning to take place. Remarkable, the AI construct observed, its crystalline form now stable. In all our years of testing, no single species has ever succeeded in activating the restoration matrix. Yet you achieved it through cooperation. Because that's what we do, Elena replied, standing tall despite her exhaustion. We adapt, we overcome, and most importantly, we work together. She gestured to her diverse crew. Every member of this team brought something unique to the challenge. That's humanity's greatest strength, not just our own abilities, but our willingness to learn from and work with others. The construct's form pulsed with what seemed like curiosity. Your species is young compared to many we have tested. Yet you show an understanding that has eluded far more advanced civilizations. Perhaps this is why you were able to unite such different beings under your leadership. Before Elena could respond, the facility shuddered violently. Myra's augmented eyes widened as she processed incoming data. Captain, the matrix is working, but it's causing massive geological shifts. The entire planetary structure is being reconfigured. Dr. Core's scales darkened with concern as he studied the readings. The power requirements are astronomical. The facility's systems are being pushed beyond their design limits. Facility structural integrity at 30% and falling, Daxon reported, his silicon form sensing the growing instability. We need to evacuate immediately. The AI construct remained unmoved by the chaos around them. The Great Filter serves its purpose. Those who pass must also survive the consequences of their success. The knowledge you seek comes at a price. Elena quickly assessed their situation. The facility was breaking apart, and their ship was still stranded on the surface. But the matrix they'd activated was clearly doing something unprecedented, something that could change their understanding of the universe. Zenthuar, can you download any data from the facility's archives? She asked. The science officer's crystalline form connected to a nearby terminal. Yes, Captain, but the amount of information is vast. We'll only have time to save a fraction of it. Focus on the restoration technology, Elena commanded. Understanding how to heal planets could save countless worlds. She turned to the others. Mira, calculate our fastest route back to the surface. Quill, use your gaseous form to scout ahead for structural weaknesses. Daxon, be ready to reinforce our path if needed. Another violent tremor shook the chamber. Parts of the ceiling began to collapse as the facility's ancient systems overloaded. The AI construct's form flickered. Your trial is not yet complete, it announced. The path to survival requires the same unity that brought you this far. Elena understood. The facility wasn't just testing their ability to work together, it was testing their commitment to that unity even in the face of death. Everyone, link your environmental systems together. we'll share power and life support. No one gets left behind. As her crew quickly connected their suit systems, Elena felt their different vital signs sync through her interface. Human, crystalline, reptilian, gaseous, and silicon-based life forms all supporting each other. The diversity that had helped them succeed would now help them survive. "Move out," she ordered as another section of the ceiling crashed down. The team ran through crumbling corridors, their linked systems helping compensate for each member's weaknesses. When Dr. Core stumbled in the extreme cold, Zenthuar's crystalline energy helped stabilize his temperature. When Quill's containment suit faltered, Myra's augmented systems helped maintain its integrity. They emerged onto the surface to find the planet transformed. The eternal storm was breaking up, revealing glimpses of a sky that hadn't been seen in eons. The ice was shifting, revealing long-buried structures and technologies that had been preserved in its frozen grip. "The Matrix," Dr. Core breathed in wonder. "It's not just restoring the planet, it's awakening it." "Incoming energy surge," Daxon warned. Massive release of power from the planetary core. Elena knew they had moments to act. "Everyone, back to the ship. Mira, redirect all power to the engines as soon as we're aboard. Zenthuar, use your crystalline resonance to help shield us from the energy wave." They sprinted across the transforming landscape, ice cracking beneath their feet as ancient machinery rose from the depths. Reaching the stellar Pioneer, they found its systems partially restored by the planet-wide energy surge. "All hands, strap in," Elena commanded as they rushed to their stations. "Mira, get us airborne. Quill, plot us a course through the weakest part of the storm." The ship lifted off just as a massive energy wave burst from the planet's core, sending ripples of power through the atmosphere. The stellar Pioneer shuddered under the assault, but held together thanks to Zenthuar's crystalline shielding and Daxon's structural reinforcement. As they broke through the atmosphere, Elena looked back at the planet through the viewscreen. The eternal storm was dissipating, revealing a world reborn. Structures of incredible complexity were emerging from the ice, their purposes yet unknown. The planet wasn't just a testing ground, it was a repository of knowledge, waiting for worthy civilizations to claim it. "Captain," Mira called out, her augmented eyes scanning the data they'd managed to save. "The restoration technology, it's beyond anything we've ever seen. With this knowledge, we could help terraform dead worlds, reverse environmental damage, maybe even restore extinct ecosystems." Elena nodded, feeling the weight of what they'd accomplished. "And we only succeeded because we worked together. Different species, different abilities, different perspectives, all united in a common goal." She looked at her crew with pride. "That's the real lesson here. The greatest achievements don't come from proving our superiority, but from proving we can overcome our differences." The AI construct's final words echoed in their minds, "You have proven worthy of the knowledge you sought. Use it wisely, for you now carry the responsibility of shepherding its power. Remember how you achieved this victory, not through the strength of one, but through the unity of many." As the stellar Pioneer set course for home, Elena knew they were carrying more than just advanced technology. They were carrying proof that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their adaptability or their ingenuity, it was their ability to bring diverse beings together and help them achieve something greater than themselves. The frozen world fell behind them, its surface now alive with the power of ancient knowledge. But the real treasure was in the lesson they'd learned, that in a universe of infinite diversity, unity was the key to unlocking its greatest secrets.